Hello, everyone, and welcome to our talk today on data science on demand, and is it really a thing? So just in introduction of myself, I am Anni. I am the CEO of the Data Shack. So I'm not going to spend too much more time in introducing myself, other than I've been in the industry for more than 25 years. I'm a statistician by training with a master's in statistics and more than 25 years experience working in the data science industry. A lot of the time when you speak to people a little bit younger than myself, they call themselves data scientists. I'm obviously in today's world a data scientist, but have heavy experience and training in statistics and machine learning and AI applications. I have deployed and worked with hundreds of large-scale projects in the industry during my career. My applications are obviously spending a lot of time in industrial applications, mining, manufacturing, but also security and intelligence and people behavior analytics for things like crime syndicates and so forth. Right, so enough about myself. We at the Data Shack today really want to spend some time talking to you about data science on demand and data science as a service, which we believe is really coming to the fore. What do we do at the Data Shack? We are a consultancy and we provide analytics, mostly in the data science realm. Of course, that is our area of specialization. We provide data unification services, data virtualization, master data management for lakes, warehouses, and marts. Of course, data science is data intensive. Therefore, we pride ourselves on having skills and a team of skills in this environment. Also in visual streaming, BI type dashboard analytics, setting those up for your organization, and a real area of specialization, which is data science, AI, machine learning, also applications for natural language generation, and of course, predictive and prescriptive analytics. We have our roots, we started here in South Africa, therefore we're proud to call ourselves a shack. All shacks grow into great things and end up becoming empires, and we're so happy that that's been the case for us. I'm the CEO of the Data Shack, obviously in South Africa, but also our global group, Data Shack Limited in the United Kingdom, who's partially owned by Janeway Computer Systems and my partner, Sherlock Holmes, which is his real name, from the USA, who serves our USA, South America, and markets, and also parts of Africa, ourselves serving Africa, Middle East, Asia Pacific, Japan, United Kingdom, and Ireland. And so just last little bit, we obviously provide managed services and admin in the data science realm, training and coaching, development, and consulting services. And therefore, our talk today. So why do we do what we do at the Data Shack? What is our passion? What do we believe, and why am I speaking to you today? Most organizations, and if you're attending this conference and you're talking and you're looking at AI applications, they make use of hordes and hordes of data. That's the only way that they can learn. But data is inherently dumb. It doesn't actually do anything unless you know how to use it, how to act on it. Algorithms are where the real value lies. They define action. This is a quote from a colleague, Peter Sondergaard from Gartner, who's the head of research and the senior vice president at Gartner. But these really ring true for our talk today. If we're looking at today's digital economy, what your company's assets are is one thing, but we believe the biggest, hottest asset in your business is data and how you use it, what you do with it, and using it wisely. And For that purpose, having a team of people behind you who know how to use that data. If that data then to your business is the latest hot asset, then we believe that data science is the key to unlocking that asset in your business. And it's really, really hard, I know from 25 years of experience, to get it right the first time. We've seen a lot of challenges in the industry, which I'll talk about a little bit more in detail later. But the real challenges are building these practices, a data science practice in your business, having the experience to know how to build it, what needs to be in it, how do you put it together, how does it work, what are the best practices in industry. And that's really the biggest challenge of all. So how does one embed data science in your business? And how important is it doing it the first time? It's by using known methodologies in business, methodologies that work, methodologies that are not just scratched up on a piece of paper, but have been used over and over again and been tried and tested, have been built up from learnings, from failures, because guys, it does not always work the first time if you do it from scratch and you have no experience. Your chance of failure is pretty high. So therefore, the topic of our talk today. Could you call on an experienced data science team like a trusted GP, and is it becoming a thing? At the Data Shack, this is our business. We believe yes, and we believe definitely. We've worked with so many customers over the years, large and small organizations, where data science needs to be embedded. Data science is really, in my opinion, not a new thing. It's been done for years and years and years, but has evolved quite a lot because of the technologies and because of the actual amounts and types of data being available and the technologies to process these being available. So who uses data in your organization? And oftentimes I find when you read articles on the internet and look on specific platforms and groups, there's a lot of personas in your business that call themselves analysts or analytics personas, people who analyze data. But it takes a team. And these are not necessarily data science specific teams. You always have specifically the largest consumers of your data in your business in this respect are what we call business leaders and citizen data scientists. What are they? Business leaders are departmental managers, C-levels, people who need access to information, insights, very quickly to support decision making. They don't necessarily, they know the questions that need to be asked from data, but they don't necessarily have the skills to get that data, to get the right data. Citizen data scientists, this is really on the rise. We believe it's one of the fastest growing positions within your business. People who have some sort of data science or at least data analytical capability within your business, who is a business user but might want to take advantage of the vast amounts of data and self-service data that's available within your data infrastructure. You obviously do have your data science team, and I'll discuss a little bit further on in this presentation who those different personas are in a data science team. This is, in my opinion, a collective of a bunch of people. You have business analysts in your IT department that work with business users to identify cases where data is absolutely needed, and working with that. You also then have developers that work on APIs and so forth, and integration, and app integration within your business. They are large consumers of data in your organization. You have your data engineers that are very involved with master data management, data virtualization, storing the data, getting it to the right places at the right time. This is a whole ecosystem of people who uses data in your organization, and it takes a team of them. In a small organization, not all of these people exist. In a large organization, there may be many of them, but are they connected well? Do they align with business strategy? Do they have governance around their roles and so forth? And that's really where the best practices and industry understanding of this really comes to the fore. And we often find that one of these becomes a champion of data science, but that doesn't always culminate into a good data science practice, because they don't have the surrounding necessary skills, mentoring, training, and so forth. And that's where we believe that this can be grabbed off the shelf as and when you need it, and advisory grabbed and when you need it. So what does a typical data infrastructure look like in a large organization? When you look at large organizations, data infrastructures and the personas I mentioned above usually interact with this data infrastructure. Data science is but one, you see in my right top corner of my slide, but one of those little pillars of usages of data. But how does it interact with the rest of the organization? Data science usually builds purpose-built algorithms for streaming analytics. Your BI and business analytics team usually look at things like operational reporting, visual analytics, and BI. You have your citizen data scientists looking at ad hoc self-service type reporting. You have your developers looking at your APIs and operational consumers. You have your business users looking at 360-degree views of the data. You have a whole bunch of consumers serving data up, or consumers of the data for which the data is being served up. I see the data science community as sitting in between these layers, and not just on top, as this picture actually shows us, where there's so many things happening that these days a data scientist is not a person in a block all on their own. They have multi-layered skills in your data science practice, because number one, they have to interact with the data that's coming their way. They have to interact with security, availability, governance, data catalogs, availability, and then they have to interact with the other community of data consumers in your business. And we therefore feel that for such a specialized role, those unicorns don't often exist in an organization as a data scientist who is applicable to all. So who then should be in your data science teams? And can you afford all of these people? What are the roles this poor person needs to play in the background? So you find typical the new age person, when I'm talking about those rare unicorns, like myself, but I find data scientist, the word, a little bit scary. As a person with experience, I feel that a data scientist is a combination of a few of these things, and it's sometimes mislabeled. I see in industry out there, I take in interns all the time. I work with people of all skills levels, and I see a data analyst calling themselves a data scientist. I see a data engineer calling themselves a data scientist. I see a database administrator calling themselves a data scientist. But let's look at purely what are the definitions of these people, and why do you need each of these components? And I don't believe this is all in one person. I also don't believe that you should have silos or block people off from these skills. I'm a kind of a hybrid between all of these with heavy statistical skills, but that doesn't say that you don't have to delve into data technologies. You don't have to delve into data science programming languages. That doesn't say that you don't have to have some data engineering skills, business analyst skills. You often have to manage entire departments of these people, be very well versed in database technologies and data architecture. So for me, it takes a village to really make up a great data science practice. Now, hiring people with these kinds of skills, as you know, is really, really hard. It's become one of the hardest tasks. I often speak to HR agencies, and especially looking for people myself through the years. It's been really difficult finding a data scientist that you can, or a statistician that you can put in front of a customer to understand a customer's needs, like a business analyst should be able to do. These people typically do not want to become managers. They prefer, like myself, to sit behind door number 13 and write models and build models and write algorithms. And so I believe that looking at this whole box of skills in an organization, that one should be able to plug and play a group of people such as this into your data science team as you're building it up and growing, and helping you hire people like this, attract that talent, because your data science practice is functional, it's growing, it's providing value back into your business. And therefore, I don't really think that it's possible to hire one person for all, or just hiring one of these types and thinking that they are going to be building your data science practice. From years of experience, I can tell you that specifically if you look at the first persona, data scientist, they are rare but inexperienced usually. If they are well versed in the latest technologies, experience levels are low. Statisticians, experience levels and skills are pretty high, but they don't typically want to get involved with new technologies. It's not, I'm not generalizing, but that's my experience. For a young data analyst to grow into a data scientist role takes a few years. And as a business, you're going to have to invest in these people. Data architects and data engineers, we find really, really nice skills out there currently in the marketplace. But how do you make hybrids of them to become involved in data science? And how do you teach them enough statistics to be able to understand algorithms and embed those based on business questions? Data analytics manager, this is sort of the most expensive role, but how does this person know how to lead, how to build this team? What are the mix of skills that is needed? So the point of looking at all of these roles and why they are there really brings me to the point to you cannot hire one person for all of these jobs, one or two or three. It takes an entire team. You cannot hire them all at once and expect them to have the experience of somebody that's worked in the industry for years and years. You are going to experiment unless you have one of these people who are very strong and willing to hybrid and grow into any of these other roles and bring them in and build a team. It becomes really, really hard. to keep such a team together and keep their skills? And what are their costs? And can you afford their costs? So if you're looking, this is a KD Nuggets survey of salaries. If you're looking at typically what do these people earn, how much are they going to cost you, you will typically see that if you look on the basic data analyst side, younger business analysts and so forth, and even statisticians, they kind of fall into the lower bracket of these roles. If you look at the higher range, are more your data architects and engineers and data scientists and data analytics managers. That's the higher end of the scale. Now, whether you're a small, medium, or large organization, you are going to have to invest in either 1, 2, 10, or a combination of all of these kinds of people. You cannot, not any business that I know, I work with very large corporates, has made this successful by starting there or starting at the bottom, starting at the top, starting in the middle, but rather by starting with 1 or 2 or 3 and building up the capacity and having temporary team members to build up this capacity for you while you're scaling up your data science practice. Having the experience of somebody that can hold your hand through the process, that can keep your people engaged, that we have found is key. And that is why we have felt that this is really a business. Traditionally, my experience has been people buy a platform, a tool, implement that tool, hire skills around a tool and a little bit of industry knowledge, and it works or it doesn't. But for the fact that they have experience in some part of this, it usually works. But having all of that to start with, especially with new technologies emerging, especially in the lower end of this scale, where it's consistently changing, the realm of platforms, the realm of programming environments that are available. We have very high turnover in the, especially in the lower sector here, and technology is changing. Keeping that all together when you're starting up and trying to build capacity is very, very hard. And therefore we feel that a hybrid approach is really key, and making sure that you can scale up when you need to and scale down when you're not needed. Oftentimes in very large organizations, we find that a data scientist is hired, but because the business doesn't understand what that little unicorn is supposed to do, questions don't come their way, or too many questions come their way at once. And those are 2 of the typical scenarios for failure. But if you are ready as a business to be able to say, I want to have 1 or 2 or 3 of these and build up the rest as I go along with temporary team members, we believe those skills are available, and we believe that we can provide them for you. So can your organization then actually afford these skills permanently? What are the challenges? Of course, hiring the right people, and do they have the correct skills and actually experience in large-scale projects? Have they ever completed one of those? Setting this up at scale, as soon as people do start realizing in your organization the value of data science, I can promise you that this is going to be coming in thick and fast. And do you then have the scale of setting up, with the shortages in experience, setting up a good data science practice that can deliver to your business on demand? Other challenges are things like mentoring. How do you keep these people engaged? How do they know what goes out in industry? How do they consistently know where the industry is going? Understanding and having a team of people to mentor them outside of your organization, to think outside of the box as well. becomes very important. I've oftentimes found, as I've worked in industry, that some data science problems from, for instance, a marketing industry might apply to some industrial problem I'm trying to solve for a mining business, for instance. And their mentoring is key to teach your team to think outside of your current milieu and your current organization. And of course, keeping up with training, keeping up with experience, and making sure that whatever industry outside is offering, that your team of people actually are consistently trained in that. And these are great challenges. And whether I work with small, medium, or large organizations, these are the things that usually stand out as key issues in trying to put a decent practice, a data science practice into an organization. So what do you need to meet them? What do we believe it is that you need? You need a mixed bag of skills on demand if and when you don't have them. Whether you need to temporarily hire a data scientist for a particular business problem, whether you have a data scientist but they don't have experience in a particular type of algorithm, whether you have a very good team of young data scientists but they've never attempted a large-scale production or delivering something at scale. We believe that that mixed bag of skills on demand is imperative, and you don't have to always permanently employ that team of skills. If they understand your business and they understand your business points of pain and questions, people with the right skills and knowledge can slot in very quickly as a helper. People with industry and use case experience, bring them in when you need them. You cannot, I've worked for 25 years and I still meet cases that are brand new to me. I still need cases where I have to do a lot of research and understanding of the questions that's actually being asked of me as a data scientist. Having a group of people with industry and use case experience really is the key. Having practice leads with scale experience. You might have a bunch or a group of the right people, but have they done this at scale? And that's where in a lot of the data science projects that we've been attempting in the last 5 to 10 years and we've been working on, it's not always answering a question and getting algorithms developed, but how do we implement it within a business at scale? How do we make sure that every person within the business has an understanding of what we're doing? How do we put it down on the floor, and how do we make it work back to business users and citizen data scientists? And lastly, as I said, ongoing career and industry development and training, making sure that when you have a team, you keep them engaged. When you have a team, they know the latest technologies. When you have a team, they can interact with other parts of the organization. And if the organization makes a shift, that they have the skill and they can immediately get the skill if they don't have it, and move with the organization and move with the times and move with your platforms and latest technologies available there. So in closing, for me, what do we think at the Data Shack? We think that you can't afford not to have a data science team on demand. You can't afford not to have a data science team at all in your business, but whether you have 1 or 2 or 10 or larger data science community in your organization, you can't afford not to have the right mix of skills in that team and to have the right mix of experience in there. And we really believe that this is a topic that's going to continue to grow. And we found this with colleagues globally across the world. And therefore we believe that that's why we are in business. And that's why we would love to serve you as an AI community and get you involved and use your skills in our community. So thank you very, very much for listening to my talk today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I trust that you enjoy the rest of the conference, and that it's fruitful for you. If you'd like to get in touch with me, just as a note, I have my email address up here. If you'd like to get in touch, we really would love to hear from you, and please come and visit our booth and chat to the team and learn from our experiences. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much.